All right, I'm hitting record on this thing. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to episode 80, Jungle Brothers podcast. I'm back. It's Joey here. We got Paulie. We got T with us. It's the regular trio.
Howdy. I kind of hear an echo in your mic.
In my voice?
Can you hear that?
No. Was it that left hook I gave you last night?
No. Boom.
Oh,
Started
early. Ding, ding.
I've been away for 2 weeks. We missed the episode last week. Apologies. That's what happens when I'm not around. Shit starts to fall to pieces around here. But they did record the week before. We had Dills running the thing, or Dills jumping on the show, filling in for me. T, Paulie talking about politics and health. I haven't gone back and listened to that myself, but I'm quite excited to. Maybe it's going to activate me a little bit. Let's see. And I'm definitely less motivated to listen to it because, frankly, I'm not speaking on it.
Well, yeah, I was just about to mention that.
We've got 2 awesome events coming up. We've got the Persian Yoga Intro Workshop, strength and conditioning of ancient Persian warriors, being taught by the man Kashi, a man who lives this lifestyle. And he'll be teaching that here at JB's on the 14th of November. If you're interested in that, get at us. We also have, and this is not open to the public, but I want to tell you guys about it. We've got a fight night on the 12th of December. Paul, you want to give us a little rundown on what we've got going on the fight night? What is it?
Okay. It's an internal gym kind of competition night. There's a range of different fights ranging from, jiu-jitsu, submission grappling with the gi, no-gi version of submission grappling. There's one MMA type match, boxing, kickboxing. And it's just for the members in the gym to get a bit of a taste of, preparing towards a fight and actually having a bit more pressure. So the sparring it'll be still padded and stuff for headgear and for shin pads, etc. But just a different set of pressure and heavier rounds too. So the idea is we haven't completely locked in all of the event details in terms of like how many people we're going to have in here. But what the idea is we're limited because of COVID, but we'll have it live streaming. And
yes.
2-camera live stream setup and available to the public. Small donation for charity type thing.
Fucking cool.
Yeah.
We want to make it like an awesome fight night. We want folks to tune in.
Oh,
and watch.
Yeah.
Some beers, some popcorn.
If you look at the whiteboard over there, like the team, there's already kind of 12 people on the team of what's going to make it happen. From the organisers to the broadcast team, there's an announcer. There's a card person, might be a guy.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty funny.
Girl, yep.
Yeah, hype man, timekeeper. Like
I see, I'm a commentator. I'm super pumped for that.
Yes,
yep.
Yes, yeah. So it's going to be fun.
So cool.
Yeah.
Such an awesome idea.
Yes. Well, it all came from Jared. Bloody Dylan calling someone out. One of the other coaches calling out another coach, and then it just kind of grew momentum from there.
The only way to get a fight these days is to start calling people out.
Yeah.
You got to put yourself out there. You're not fighting.
No.
Why not?
You're prepping like you are though, because he thinks
I'm just beating everyone up, to be honest.
Do you think
who wants to fight me,
there's
bro?
not competition enough for you?
You should fight me, but your knee's busted, so I would wrestle you.
You'd wrestle me?
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Wrestle me, bro.
I reckon that would be an awesome battle.
That'd be a good one.
Because you wouldn't be able to jiu-jitsu me.
It's true.
And you wouldn't be allowed to be on, like, the idea is to not be on your back.
Yeah, that's right. It'd be really hard for me.
Yeah.
I'll consider it. I don't think my knee would be up for it.
But I'd be up for it.
You'd be
I
up
got
for it?
wrestling shoes now.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, sick. I got
wear one of them masks. Those masks.
Yeah.
the ear muffs?
Like Mirko Krokop head kick to that guy wearing the mask.
That one, yeah. What are the Mexican ones?
They're the lucha libre.
I'll wear one of them.
Yeah, you'd be a luchador. I want to fight.
I'll just pretend it's me and put like some other massive coconut in instead.
Get one of Rob Whittaker's wrestling buddies from out at Smeaton Grange.
I'd be up for that.
You'd be up for that?
Yeah.
he's kind of.
I'm calling you out.
Here it is.
Right here now.
Here it is.
Over the podcast.
Fuck, I'm keen. I'm tempted.
Your reputation is all your jiu-jitsu buddies, all your black belt mates
watching.
are going to be like, there's the white belt calling out the brown belt. Joe, you need to sort him out.
He's been training like he's got to fight. Because there's a lot of these matchups and we're kind
Someone's going to pull out.
Someone is.
And I'm going to have to step in.
Yeah.
You have to step in and fight deals or
Just
something.
someone, yeah.
Well,
You'd be a good fill-in guy.
Yeah.
That's like Michael Chandler's filling in for the UFC next weekend. You know Michael Chandler, that new
yeah,
guy,
yeah,
the
yeah,
UFC
yeah.
bot?
Well, he's trained.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a fight on that card, but he's just
He's the substitute
He's
for
the
Gaethje
substitute.
Khabib, yeah.
wow.
So do they have that all the time now? Like just someone ready to jump in?
I think
to
they
prep?
do. I don't know if
At
it's
least
an official
yeah, I don't think it's
position that the
official.
UFC like fulfills.
Right.
But these guys know, like, well,
There's a chance.
I'm ready to go.
Well,
If
there's
someone
always
dies
like
in a weight cut or
like
something.
an injury or something, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really common. It's hugely common. Well, this is a great segue because we're talking about fighting today. A couple of things. We're going to expand a bit on the fight night idea, sort of give a bit of context about that for folks. But we want to have a chat about fighting in general and why we do it here at the gym and why, as you would know, being an avid listener, that fight, lift, move is the methodology that we've created and that we're spreading here. And I guess for a lot of people who don't have much exposure to the fight realm and maybe don't train in it or haven't, trained in it in the past, it might seem a little bit, they might not be sure why we do it. And they might not understand what the importance is of combat training for a regular person who is just trying to get a little bit healthy and fitter. They might confuse it with something like boxercise, which would be really bad. So we want to explain to them why it's different. I guess I just want to give a bit of context to folks. T-Bone, you want to tell us, what do we do in terms of the fights? What do we do here? What's been the methodologies of our fight game at JB's?
Well, we do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and we strike. The striking is a combination of kickboxing, Muay Thai and boxing. It's always been a part of our philosophy, even before we were taking fight classes in our gym. It's always been a part of our philosophy. It's been part of our image, So
And that was largely because it was part of our lives.
yeah,
wasn't
it was part of our practice.
Yeah.
And it was always something that we wanted to bring into our own gym space. The necessity of it. There's a few reasons why we find it important. One, it is a method of self-expression. It is an art, and everyone can do it. The thing I love about watching people develop their fighting skills, and you don't have to be a fucking professional fighter to do this. You can go from absolute beginner and get yourself to a blue belt or whatever it is, or white belt with some stripes or the equivalent of in striking. But you start to build your own interpretation of an art. Yep. So the stuff that works for you is not necessarily, Joe, I'm pointing out, it's not necessarily going to be
Fucking
the most
pointing me out a lot
efficient way
today.
for Paul to use, So Paul's got different leverage, different height, different weight. He's maybe probably a bit faster,
Oh, you think?
Yeah, just a little bit. Probably a little fitter.
Look at the expression on Paul's face.
So his,
smudgy.
but his style's gonna it's going to adapt to what he does best. But this empowers an individual, because a lot of people will come into a gym and they feel like, I'm not a fighter, and then all of a sudden they realize that having stumpy legs or having a little bit of a belly can work in their favor.
Yep.
If they start to utilize.
Why are you
that
looking
as
at Joe
tools.
when you say that?
Yeah. Why are you looking at my stumpy legs and my belly, bruh?
I mean, still, I'm just because I'm still friends with him. Just defending him a little.
I'm gonna fucking wreck this dude on fight night.
He's got real full mouth.
Suplex him.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you find your style, and I think this is really nice, because in standard gym, and we've talked about this before, there's this grey zone and where there's competition on the gym floor, and I don't think it's healthy, because if you're getting injured doing a strength and conditioning, you're not doing it right. You're not supposed to get injured doing strength and conditioning. The whole point of it is just to make you not get injured when you do things like jiu-jitsu or striking. So we have that space for you to get injured, or to take your car out for a wrap around the racetrack. But it also gives you this black and white line as well in the gym, where on the bottom floor, you're getting your body stronger and more durable and fitter. And on the top floor, you're testing it, you know? You're forging it.
So on that thing about the place where you can injure yourself, right? Which is like the wild, where you can do jiu-jitsu, where you can fight. It is understood that there's a higher element of risk there. Why? Talk to me about that risk and what, because people listening could think, well, I don't want to get injured, so I'm not going to do that because injuries are bad and that's an easy decision for me to make. But what we're trying to say is, well, no, maybe you should consider it. Maybe it's not actually a bad thing. Can you guys expand on that for me?
Well, it's a bit like the strength and conditioning or the downstairs training portion as well. Like it's not just the movements, but it's how you approach the exercise, how you understand it. And like when you go upstairs, and you say you're doing martial arts, it's not just the movements, but it's like because I see the martial arts as like a big, or learning it like a big personal development tool. It's really great for the individual to try and get better at something that's, pretty hard physically, but it's also pretty hard, like mentally. You've got to measure the risk. You need to go in there with a certain level of maturity. If you find usually you're going to come up where you kind of come up sore somewhere or a little bit injured, but you build some maturity about how you approach your practice. That's part and parcel with the learning. So there's always going to be a bit of risk, whether it's upstairs or downstairs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the risk is inherent to any kind of physical practice.
Yeah, and you get better at how you kind of, hopefully the idea is that you get better at assessing that risk and I've seen lots of people come in there and maybe go too hard and come out a bit injured and a few steps back. They have to take a few weeks off and hopefully they learn from that experience and then mature in how they insert themselves into the wild, as you put it before, and then they can keep developing further after that over time. The only way that you're going to progress in martial arts is by developing a maturity, I'd say.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's a real emotional attachment to martial arts that I think is it's overlooked until you go to a foreign, like someone else's gym, and you put some gloves on at sparring night, and or you have your first fight or your first comp or whatever it is, and then you realize, okay, that feeling comes back. People will get that in their first session on a martial arts floor, and you tend to forget it because you get used to the environment. But this feeling of having to deal with your emotional response when you're thinking about what's to come, you know what I mean? Like this anticipation, the anxiety, these emotions that build from sparring with someone who's a similar size to you, that has been training for hard for the last 4 weeks, and you've had a couple of weeks off. That feeling of having to look at yourself and check your ego, and then when you're in the heat of it, knowing how to regulate your emotions. That in itself is an art, and it's a practice, and it's a discipline, and it comes in handy for everything in life. Dealing with your children, maybe having a debate with your wife, business, like having control over, and you don't necessarily want to suppress emotion, but you want to be able to regulate it and be aware of it, and know that once it starts to take control of you, then you generally start to lose the fight, Yeah. So it's a really good tool. Just, I think as a life tool, it has so much translation over to everything else too,
So it's something that I pick up in that is that dealing with stress and being put into really uncomfortable situations.
It's a conflict zone.
And it is highly uncomfortable, some of it. Like it's
Yeah.
fucking awful. But that's the beauty of it, is the contrast once you get out of it. Or you realize it's not actually a life and death situation. It's just training.
Yeah.
And that person got the better of you, and now class is over. And you can go home and
Totally.
your mates. But it's like, fuck, like that. There's a relief in that Well, there's almost like it recalibrates how you perceive the rest of your life.
Or you just like go home and stew over getting bashed.
Yeah.
Fuck that. How
Your
the hell
partner's
did that
talking to you
happen?
now, and you can't look at them.
I'm training
Yeah.
every day until next time we meet.
It can easily become that, can't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
Or been
that's
there.
why blue belts in jiu-jitsu disappear.
Is it really?
Yeah,
That's the
That's what I think it is. I think it's that they
too much pressure on themselves.
you work when you start jiu-jitsu, you get really into it. It's really fun, and then you put in all this effort to get your blue belt, and you don't really have any expectations on yourself because you're just a white belt. So you're just like going at it, and then you get given your blue belt, and then you realize, then you start. I mean, you start to become aware of really how much you don't know, and you're still getting your ass kicked by other people, and even sometimes white belts are still kicking your ass, and oftentimes it's just easy to get disheartened because you're like, you put this pressure on yourself. I'm a blue belt now, I should be kicking ass, but you're not. And then I think for a lot of them, they're like, man, I gave it a really good run and I got to where I am, but I just can't fucking muster up the energy to keep going. But it's all because of how you perceive where you're at. It's all because you have these expectations and these sort of, that you think it should be a certain way. And then, for the people who continue with it, they're the ones that realize, oh no, this is just a part of the process, and there's ups and downs, and I'm going to go through periods where I suck, and then come out on the other side. But yeah, there's this common trend that blue belts do disappear. Like Paul.
I haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm right here. Come get me.
I don't know what. Maybe that's why my jiu-jitsu practice has been so sustainable.
yeah.
So much
You never
time.
got the blue.
I'm not going to put myself in that
Yeah,
situation.
I don't think you want it, man. Don't get it. The belts don't mean anything.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to find that out on fight night.
Look at this skinny guy. He looks more like a dancer, this guy. A funny note yesterday.
Fuck, that fight was
Shocking.
fast and absolutely
I
horrible.
was watching a little MMA
Adesanya.
news yesterday on YouTube, and something came up with Adesanya, and it was the footage of him walking out of the ring from that fight dancing.
Yes.
And Hattie, our little girl, saw it, and Hattie, she just glanced at the screen, and she's like, that guy's so skinny. Whoa. Yeah.
No wonder he's got such a complex about it.
I know.
Man, he needs to leave Costa alone.
Well, yeah, it's true. He's been pretty fucking
It's
ruthless.
unclassy now.
It is. But the other
don't
thing
mind
is that Costa came
when
at
you were
him
young.
before the fight.
Yes.
Yeah, he was
brought
very rude.
Yeah, he brought the tray, and he's like, he tried to be on that level
Yes.
with Adesanya, and I think that was his mistake. Is
Yes.
you're never going to beat him at that game, so don't even try. I saw they interviewed Anthony Johnson about it, and he's like, man, Costa came at him, and then he got fucking dusted up, and so Adesanya did this, and he's like, Costa needs to just shut up now.
Yeah, he shouldn't have kept
You know?
talking afterwards.
Yeah.
DC was making a funny interview about it, and he was like, just leave him alone, Adesanya. He's dead. He's already dead. He's dead, homie. Leave him alone, man. I feel sorry for him. So funny.
It's true, hey?
It's really just, yeah.
I can talk on the risk aspect a little bit about the fight thing. Me having my knee injury and the related surgeries and stuff, that's the perspective there. For a lot of people, when I talk to them, I'll meet newer people at jiu-jitsu, and they'll be like, oh man, I heard you got a knee injury. What happened? I'm like, oh, I tore my ACL. And then they'll ask, oh, how'd you do that? And I'm like, oh, I tore it here, training with Adam, our coach. And they'll be like, oh, fuck. You see someone, they're like, holy shit. Is that what's going to happen to me or whatever? And in the same way, I talk to people here in the gym about it, and they're like, oh, you poor thing. That's fucked. I hear that's really bad. And I'm like, yeah, it's really not, it's not a great experience, right? Paul, you had, you tore your tendon and whatever, Achilles. Achilles. But you don't really wish a long-term injury on yourself or anyone. But the kind of perspective that I have with it is man, I've been training jiu-jitsu for, I was thinking about it last night, I think it's 12 years. 12 years of, up and down. I haven't trained consistently the whole time, but basically 12 years going really hard. Putting my body on the line at training, just falling back on all of my athleticism and without any kind of consideration of, oh, I might get hurt here or whatever. Like, and that's, I think you guys can identify with that same feeling. Like we don't train as much like that now that we're a bit older, but through your 20s, you just fucking go for it, right?
Yeah.
And this is the first like major injury I've ever had. And I'm like, well, 12 years of kind of reckless abandon to now have, you know, fucked up my knee and have to have a surgery, and it's probably going to be about a year and a half once it's all said and done. I'm like, it's really not a huge price to pay, in my opinion.
And it was an unfortunate accident. It wasn't like
it's not a typical.
You know, like you didn't. It wasn't reckless.
No, not at all. Oh no. The accident was I stepped one way, my weight went. Yeah, it was just it's the same thing that could have happened playing soccer. Could have happened fucking. I mean, we know
Slipping
that it's
over
happened
a
to
banana
people.
peel.
Yeah, walking their dogs and shit like that. Like
Having
it happens. Few beers, a little boogie, trying to fucking do the splits on the dance floor. No biggie.
Oh, it's not.
But you know, so it's like you got to put it in perspective
For all the everything you've gained from those 12 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Far outweighs.
The relationships, the experience, the fitness, you know,
Yeah.
the composition and the techniques and all of that stuff. So much health in there.
The techniques that I will fucking use on you.
Well, that's
in the
that's,
fight night.
That's
on
where
the
you're
12th
wrong
of
because
December.
you can't use any of them.
I think we did like one wrestling class once, like 7 years ago. I'm going to use that shit.
You can't use can't use any of those arm bars, any of them leg locks,
Just
or
neck cranks.
ankle hooks, or
Neck cranks only.
But you know, it's wrestling and punching. It will be our rule set. That would be fucking mad.
Oh yeah,
So
that'd be
just
great,
like
bro.
punch each other and wrestle, and that's it. No kicking. It's just like
But you can only
Just
punch them when you've got them
cutters.
pinned.
no, I don't like the sound of that.
The Christmas party will be a week before that. You'll have your opportunity then.
Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
We're talking about doing Christmas
Should
party
we
at
not
the end of.
have it the other way around?
I
We
think
should.
they should come after.
Yeah, but
Probably make more sense.
we never have it in December because it's too busy for everyone. We've had it
a
in
good
the end
point.
of November for a long time because
End of November
key
/
persons
first
cannot
weekend
make
of
it.
December.
They got work Christmas party.
That is
But we-
cruel to whoever's on the card, including
I know,
yourself.
I know. I'm good
Let's
at partying.
switch the dates.
Well, we have to think about this.
Yeah.
We have to figure it out.
You can't have a party 1 week before.
I'm hoping people have less
John Jones did.
obligations this year. Yeah, and he always fought like a champ.
Yes.
I'm hoping people have less Christmas party obligations this year,
Yes.
given the state of things.
You'd think so.
We'll have to update you on the Christmas party plans. We've had
Oh, yes.
discussions and developments. Yeah, while you're away.
Okay, good. I like to see that this development goes on when I'm not here.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So I had the worried look in his eye.
Yeah.
You should be
T
worried.
came up with this awesome idea. We're
Pretty
going to
much.
get some boats and fucking.
Oh. Who let the cat out of the bag?
So there's a safety aspect to it. I was thinking yesterday of a member of ours, I won't mention his name, who was kind of affected by the whole COVID thing and didn't, by the lockdown, like quite psychologically affected and took a break from the gym and didn't do any. I had a quick chat with him and he said, I've not been doing anything since the lockdown started. Like I've just been at home on the couch and I guess doing a bit of work from there. And he hurt himself. He said, I hurt myself doing nothing. And I thought about that. He hurt his knee. And I was like, that's funny. Like you hurt your knee doing nothing. And then, I hurt my knee doing something. And I was just thinking about how everyone gets injured. Like you get injured, like the body breaks down, the body rebuilds itself, breaks down. Everyone gets injured. The nature of the injuries can differ, but injuries are a thing that we have to deal with anyway. So when you look at it from that perspective, is there an increased risk? Like, do we see an increased risk of injuries or rate of injuries in our fight classes, as an example?
I think there's a bit of a myth behind it, to be honest. I think if you have a good gym with the right coaching, the right culture, then people actually look after each other. And the injuries, I would say statistically, and this is just a stab in the dark, would be the same as fucking tennis or golf or
Yoga.
any of those. Yoga has actually the highest rate of injuries out of any group fitness activity on the planet. Believe it or
Believe
not.
that. I know.
So, you know, I mean, if you're going to get injured, you may as well do it becoming a fucking beast,
Savage.
animal. Why not?
It's true.
You know? Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think if you're doing the right prep, the other thing I've noticed is the gyms that carry the most amount of injuries are the gyms that don't promote any form of accessory training work.
Right.
And then when you look in the gym,
Intelligent.
the
Ones
guys
that just do the combat.
and that's like any sport, you know. The guys at the climbing gym that only climb and don't do any other accessory work are the ones that are carrying the injuries. And it's the same with any other sport. So I think if you've got a gym that acknowledges that area of training and then prioritizes it, then the chances for injury in that space would be much lower. When you're talking about professional fighting gym, that's different. Those guys are training and girls are training 6 hours a day and it's high intensity. They're carrying injuries throughout their whole professional career. But again, like any athlete, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd agree.
I think that was a real sort of cornerstone with us having fight, lift, move, like all three together, was that we were doing that, right? We were driving around town, going and doing different things, training at different gyms, different people. But we recognized that this kind of niching of different movement disciplines, like you have a jiu-jitsu gym, you have a boxing gym, you have a weightlifting gym, you have CrossFit, like where they just really just do the one thing that they're interested in, develops these imbalances and develops these issues within the body, because it is specialized. Like all of those different modalities are specialized. So by having a place where you can dip your toes into a range of modalities, you kind of stop yourself from specializing and you broaden your physicality.
Yeah. It's interesting to say that because I started my new programming with straps and handstands with a coach overseas. And
what are the straps? Give us a little.
They're an aerial device, apparatus, I should say, that
Sounds like
circus
a drone.
performers use. And they're just two long pieces of material that hang from the suspended ceiling, and they have bearings that spin. But they just allow you to be able to elevate and descend on them by rolling your arm. You wrap yourself in them in a way.
Mostly around the arm,
testicles,
the arms.
usually.
Yeah, bolzonis, okay, nice.
Just hang.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, you can use your arms, your legs, and you can create all these great shapes with the body. And I can't do much.
Climbs the
on
straps
them
with
at
his
all.
glutes.
But
Just pinching his way up there.
and, yeah, give him a good clean after that.
I saw. Did you ever see? I can't remember the name of the show.
were white when you
La
bought
Soiree. Did you ever see La Soiree?
No.
Was that the
Is that
Opera
the
House?
bathtub one?
Yeah, is the guy in the bathtub?
Yeah, it was great.
He was a fucking animal.
Yeah, he's a
What is
beast.
it?
It was like an adult style circus show at the Opera House. So it was quite dark. It had a bit of nudity. It was really good. And it was really just, correct me if I'm wrong, it was just like a small stage and they just had sort of one act at a time.
Yeah, it was great.
And they just came through, and I think the last act was a guy in a bathtub, and it's like, he's this jacked dude. I think he was wearing like jeans. And he's
the skin tight jeans.
Yeah, and he's in the bathtub, and there's like water in the bathtub, and he's like sponging himself and stuff, and all the girls are like, yeah. and then like the straps dropped down, and then it was like this sensual kind of strap routine where he kept coming into the water again, and
Flicking his hair out.
yeah,
in the
it
water
was
on the
really
crowd.
cool. He was a fucking beast.
That's just where you were inspired from, maybe.
Possibly. But I watched that show. I remember feeling I had body dysmorphia for about 5 minutes. I kind of shrunk into my jacket. I'm like, oh my gosh, this dude's like, my wife's just like drooling. I'm like, stop looking at him.
I could do that.
Oh, such a good actor.
Can he
but
fight though?
that's one. Yeah, and I'm loving it, but the programming has taken all the training out of my lower body and into my upper body. And after about a couple of months, I was like, man, I got to start using my legs again. I felt myself starting to adapt to the tools, like it was like, and to be on straps or to be in a handstand, it's probably going to be a bit beneficial to have a little less weight in your legs.
Of course.
You know, because all the strength is coming from the upper body.
Shout out to all the calisthenics listeners out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good to have that space to go, okay, well, I need to get back into getting strong down low, and there's barbell and there's kettlebells and there's those guys doing it over there and jump in with them, you know? So there's always enough space in the gym to give every discipline the space that it needs to be able to express it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Which is great. And that's how we built the gym, like a film set. You can fucking clear the floor and create something new scenarios. So, yeah, it's really important. And I think if you are practicing a martial art and you're only doing that, you're destined to break. Destined. Doesn't matter what it is. Taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, doesn't matter what it is. You have to accessorize.
You see it play out in plain sight in fight gyms, right? Like I know in jiu-jitsu, it's so clear that the high level practitioners, the brown and the black belts, they're the ones with the most chronic injuries. They're the ones that are like hobbling off the mats, but they're the biggest savages when you're on it. But they're always complaining. They're always stiff. They're always fucking, every 6 months they're out with that back thing or knee thing or whatever. But you got these, white belts who are coming in and they're quite fresh and not yet, haven't sort of started to fall apart yet. But yeah, and it's funny, and they know that they should be doing stuff, but they kind of get addicted to that. I mean,
you get addicted.
That's the thing they want to do, isn't it?
And you just feel like you're missing out. And I think that is, it's a dangerous place to be. Whereas here, it's funny, like just watching the tides that happen in the gym. Like now that the fight night's on, there's just more people boxing and kickboxing, even if they're not competing. And then, someone will come out with some new tricks for, doing the body weight training, and everyone starts kind of doing a bit more of that. And then someone comes in and does some big lifts, and everyone's kind of doing a bit more of that. It's, it kind of travels in waves a little bit. But this is healthy because, and it's almost like trends within the space. But yeah, I think it's healthy and it's necessary, and people are starting to recognize when certain areas of their training start to get neglected, that they're reminded by looking across the room at someone else that's doing something, and you're like, oh shit, I need to be doing a bit of that stretch,
Yeah. It's cool that we can dictate the culture in this place. Not dictate, but we can kind of lay it out.
Dictators.
That's right. We can lay it out for people because we don't, like say we've got the jiu-jitsu thing that's like 6 days a week now that people can come and train jiu-jitsu all the time. And you see these members of ours who are really getting bitten by the jiu-jitsu bug, but they still come and they'll say no to a jiu-jitsu class and go downstairs and do lift or do stretch. Like they still hold, like all of those other classes hold equal weight for them to an extent. Whereas if I know, I mean, I talk, this is my fucking life at jiu-jitsu. It's like I'm training, and then in the rest periods and whatever, I'm helping my training partners deal with injuries. They're like,
all the time. I talk to Joey, man, he's the guy. And I'm like, oh, you should do some strength training. And they're all like, yeah, nah, I'm not going to do that. What can I do? And it's like, man, like you just, like they're so indoctrinated and they're so addicted to that thing that now asking them to spend a couple of hours a week lifting some weights or doing some mobility work is just unreasonable. And so, what's really sad about that is that if they did it, it's such a small amount of time to increase your performance on the mat by like 15, 20%.
I mean?
Like
it's huge.
It's fucking enormous. Like having strength advantage in any sport.
Yeah.
Is fucking, you want it.
And not be in pain every morning.
Yeah.
When you wake up all fucking pretzeled, and not fucking be uncoordinated with, 60 to 70% of the techniques because you can't get your legs in the right position, like because your hips don't go there. Like there's so many benefits that come from it. But it's that, it's really hard to get that through to folks. And obviously there's a huge amount of people who are like open to it and take that advice on board. But here, because, and this is what I really like about how we do the fight thing here, is that we have people who train in our gym who come from fight gyms. So we have people who have, gotten to great heights with jiu-jitsu or Thai boxing, whatever. But the majority of people that train here have come to us with almost no experience in those areas. And so they've started that fight journey with us.
Yeah, original members from our gym.
Yeah, and so because they've started it with us, they're just open to whatever our advice is. And we're like, well, do a bit of this and do a bit of this and do a bit of this. And they're like, cool, no worries. You know, and it's like, fuck, you're just developing a well-balanced approach or well-balanced practice from day one.
That's right. And you come out the other end not broken, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have to be broken to get your next belt, which is good. You know what else I love about any kind of martial art is the fact that it can, and how much it can empower an individual, posturally, attitude-wise, everything. Like knowing that you're in a position where you can defend yourself, you know, against someone that might want to beat you up, or just bully, or even someone who's a verbal bully. Like this, learning martial arts, I think, is so good at empowering an individual. You can actually see changes in individuals as they start to get better, and I get a big kick out of that. You know, especially with women, we have 50% of the practitioners in our gym are female. Especially now, because domestic violence is on the rise coming into this recession. I think it's really important. So yeah, it's empowering.
We've got so many women that train in the Fight Factory. I mean, and jiu-jitsu, but Fight Factory, I'm always blown away at how many females. There's sometimes more females sparring than there is males. Could that be true?
Yeah, and there's actually statistics that show that women that train martial arts are less prone to domestic violence. Or being victims in general.
Yeah.
I believe that.
On the street, at the bar, at home. They're just more likely to kick your ass, you know?
Yeah.
And you think about the kind of male that's going to pick on a woman anyway. They're generally going to pick on the one that's showing all the attributes of like physical weakness.
Yeah.
But if you have, I mean, you look at Fee, she's like, I don't know, she's about 45 kilos, but she can deadlift 95 kilos. She's doing really well at her jits. No one's going to pick a fight with her. You know what I mean? Like she'll bite
and she's from
back.
fucking Liverpool.
Yep.
Liverpool.
And I'm not talking about Liverpool in Sydney.
Yeah, she's not going. She should never be that victim. You know? And a lot of that has got to do with the fact that she practices martial arts. You know, and she's strong.
On that, and I guess there's a correlation between that, like having fight experience and fight skills, and then also being confident sort of on the street and being able to handle yourself. But it's not necessarily that you are like equipped with these deadly techniques and so no one wants to fuck with you.
No, you don't even, you're probably never going to use it.
But it's almost like it goes back to somehow how you sort of carry yourself, doesn't it?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. And you can see it in individuals, you know what I mean? Like there's telltale signs of confidence. You know, when you're talking to someone, you think, oh, okay, I'm not going to mess with this guy or girl.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm going to go roll that guy instead.
Yeah.
I never rolled anyone in my life. I got rolled heaps times.
Did you?
Yeah, I got rolled a couple times.
I got rolled for $5.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I got rolled for a mobile phone and my wallet, which had $10 in it.
Paul would have never been rolled. Did you
Never been rolled.
Family's too big.
Nah, I'm just fucking friends with everyone. I'll go with a big smile. No one wants to roll me. Smiling assassin.
Yeah, I probably deserved it.
Very serious topic about the female empowerment. However, did anyone see that video? It's been on the internet for years. It's like CCTV
push
footage.
kick one?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's the best.
It's basically like CCTV footage over the shoulder of like the counter. A front counter of
like
some
a hotel
business.
or something.
Yeah, a hotel, and the woman's like standing, like facing the camera, and some guy comes by.
Big big muscly dude.
And she's wearing like a
mini skirt and high heels.
And like he goes to take a bag, or does he touch her?
I think he was doing a bit of touchy.
It looks like she's some Muay Thai prize fighter. She freaking push kicks the shit out of him.
She gives him one big one, like just one like tap.
And it was
then
like
he's
right
like,
to the
he like,
midsection.
yeah, he sizes up to her. He's like, oh, to hit her.
And he goes in again, and she puts some power behind it. She ends up push kicking him like
through like the fucking door.
Yeah, like
just
Jesus.
launches him.
Yeah, And she's like holding, I think she's holding something.
handbag
She
and
just
she's
like
got a
pulls the
fucking
knee right
stiletto.
up and like the spine flexes and then it's bang.
Boom.
And she's just like push kicks this
Big
guy.
quad
Like
and-
a dozen
big
times,
quad
half
and
a
butt
dozen
on her.
times. Yeah.
It's
It's a
awesome.
really good video.
How cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a really nice moment with my daughter about martial arts. Actually, we were talking about it. And I asked her if she would be interested in practicing some form of self-defense. And she's like, oh, what? Sitting there kind of thinking about it. And she's like, why? Like question. I said, well, at some point in life, there's arsehole, that there will be an arsehole out there that will want to potentially hurt you. And this is just the reality of being a woman. You know what I mean? At some point,
You could argue for a man
for
too,
a man as
right?
well, yeah, but
Yeah.
even more so for a woman because they're always going to have a little less strength behind them. And she turned around and said, "Okay," and it was like a definite, "Okay, yeah, I want to learn how to fight."
Cool.
That was great. Yes.
Yes.
What
When
are
was
you
that?
What are you
On
going to
the
try?
weekend.
Yes.
I'm going to kind of leave it up to her a little bit. So I will probably do a little bit of striking. I think she would do really well on the mats. I feel like jits and wrestling as a grappler.
Yeah.
Because we wrestle all the time anyway. And she's very strong for her size and really mobile. And she just knows how to use her weight. So, yeah, I think I'd love to be able to get her on the mats. It'd be awesome.
So good.
Yeah, she'll be a little weapon.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, but we need to start the kids' classes so I don't have to fork up someone else's gym.
Because
paying for
Fucking
shit
fortune,
kids'
all those
classes, yeah.
bloody kids' classes.
They just
mate.
chase a ball around
Killing
the
me.
class for an hour.
$40 there, $20 there, ballet, acro. Crikey.
Did I see Pavel's talking about putting a kids program together?
Yeah, Pavel.
Cool.
Yeah. Pavel and maybe Pavel and Ty might team up and do
love it.
like a mixture of stuff over a certain time slot.
Fight, lift, move kids program.
Yep.
That's fucking
I think
awesome.
that's
Oh,
a great
so
idea.
exciting.
Yeah. And there's so much here we can offer kids.
Yeah.
And they love the space.
Pavel's a wrestling coach here for listeners. He's a new wrestling coach here, right?
He's the guy that's going to be fighting you on Fight Night, bro.
Talk to us about that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the fights, we put all together these fights. So there's about 12 fights on the fight night card. And most of it was orchestrated by Tiora. It was quite masterful, Joe, if you were here. But you can paint a vivid picture because you know how he works.
Yeah.
We got them all on the whiteboard here. We got the stickies and we're moving them around, looking at weights. It was great. A few think tank sessions where we're moving them around and getting feedback from people.
Dills, yeah.
Yeah, T's been on the phone calling him and telling people different stories.
Right.
Yeah.
Selling it to the individual based on what they need.
But we all know that it's going to be great for them, and everyone needs a little bit of a push here and there. It was good.
Just a little push. And you know the people that need a bit of push and then the ones that you shouldn't be pushing.
Tease the Uncle Dana.
Basically.
I'm Don King.
More like Don King.
Don King, less
Yeah.
Dana.
So I'm in the gym downstairs and someone comes up and goes, "Oh, hey, Pavel just signed up for the fight night thing and he says he's fighting you." And I'm like, "What?" And I can see Pavel outside. I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." And they said, "Oh, he wrote MMA on there." And then Pavel's outside, he comes in and he's got this guy just smiles if you've never met him. He's ear to ear smiling all the time, very often. And he comes in, he's like, "Hey, Paul," he shakes my hand. He's like, yes, I'm fighting you. We're fighting, right? And I'm like, I was like, straight away, I knew that T was sitting on his shoulder, whispering in his ear. I've been Tiora'd, basically. And I asked him, T, and he's like, "Did T put you up to this?" And he was like, "Yeah, we're fighting, yeah." And he was kind of like nodding at me. I was like, "Yeah, bastard." So I felt T
It's a good matchup,
kick me in
though.
the... Is it?
Yeah.
Well, you haven't been giving me much confidence there because every time we talk about it, you're like, "Holy shit, oh my God." Oh, he's granite. Basically, all the chat
so
around
strong.
it, all the
He's very
chat
strong.
around
He's
this
very strong,
conversation is about how amazing Pavel is, and there's been no confidence in me whatsoever. But
Well,
that's
he's
just fuel to the
an
fire.
accomplished wrestler, but he will be striking. So, you got to make make of that what you will. But you know, I mean, it's obvious Paul's going to have the advantage with the hands and the feet. Pavel's going to have to get hold of you to do his magic. So it's going to be the classic in-fight, out-fight scenario.
Yes. Yeah, so exciting. I would be lying if I said I didn't want this, because I've always wanted to have a bit of a challenge
That's why
like this.
I said to you, bro, you want this.
I wanted you, but you're too heavy.
I probably am.
I was chasing T for a week or
You'll
two.
need to drop a few
like,
kilos though.
I've already dropped almost one.
What's
I'm on
your
my
weight
way.
now?
1 in a month.
It was
because you went
90?
to the toilet
90.
for
What
a
are you
poo.
at?
No, and the last,
What's your weight, T?
I'm at 88.7.
I'm 91 at the moment.
But this is the funny thing is because I was like,
But I'm
T-
91 lean.
Exactly.
This is just to remind you.
I was after
91 penis skin covering my body.
and I was asking you for like a
Translucent.
week and a half. And I was like, T, come on. And you know, I'm the underdog there, and I just want something that scares me, and you know, that to work towards. And then eventually, after a week and a half, he was like, you know, we're the same way. It's like, but I've got nothing to lose here, but you'll start training and you lose. So basically, he's telling
you'll
me
start dropping weight.
he's lean and I'm not that lean, and it's true.
Yeah,
I'm not that lean.
You'll be able to cut back to something close to Pavel's weight, but I think you'll still probably be the heavier individual out of the two.
Yes, I think I'll be 86, and I think he might be 83 or something like that.
83.
Who knows? Yeah.
He
So
won't,
anyway,
he won't tell us his weight.
I'm an underdog.
Really
I've
not?
asked, yeah, I've asked him a few times.
he
I think
has?
he's worried that we'll say he's too light for Paul. Perhaps.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Great.
it's on. I got some training to do. I'm still coming back from a groin tear, and
Shoulder.
shoulders pretty damn good.
Neck. It's got that back thing, obviously.
The back thing.
Scab on my knee, the dry skin on my elbow.
It's a psoriasis here. That's my hook.
Yes, not anymore.
Yeah,
you
who else
watched
is
it-
fighting? Who else have we got? We got
We got the main event.
Ty and Dills. Yeah.
That's the
our
main event, of
GM
course.
and our office assist.
Yes. That's
General
Dill's
manager.
fighting his protege.
Yeah, Dills is gonna have his work cut out for him, and I think Ty's gonna have his work cut out for him as well. It's a pretty even matchup, that one. Again, another classic in-fight, out-fight. Ty's a bit of a power hitter. Dill's got the length.
There's going to be a 3-round with 3 girls, jiu-jitsu girls.
Has he got the length? Have we checked the reach there? Because Ty's a long leg.
Is it potentially? Yeah, we should do. Yeah, we need to do like
Stats,
fight
fight
stats.
stats.
Yeah,
Tape
that's
it up.
great.
We do a little photo shoot of each person.
Yeah,
And then like do tailor the tape.
Yeah,
That'd
we
be
got to
sick.
do that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That could be the
Measure
marketing material.
I wanted to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
with that.
Like if we put it on Zoom, I was like hoping we could comp in the background would be like the Street Fighter Chung Li scene.
Yeah.
Get the chicken in the cage and the people going,
Yeah.
little fire on the side. Yeah. The tape would be good. I think the tape's a good idea.
Tailor the tape. Yes.
That's a must.
So yeah, that one's going to be fun. It's funny because you said the GM and his protege, they're fighting. And all the way down the list, a lot of these people are actually just training with each other. Well, I trained with Pavel the other day, and I'll go to learn wrestling in his wrestling class on
Is
Fridays.
he a bit like Khabib? The way he is it that loopy kind of?
No,
No,
he's
he's
actually
way
got
tighter.
good boxing.
He's way
Right.
tighter. Yeah, his rotation. Dude, he's got lots of power in close.
I can imagine.
I just don't want to be anywhere close to the guy.
Yeah.
no,
Anywhere.
you don't. But he doesn't want to be on the outside either.
No.
No.
Can you knee? You guys doing knees?
Well,
I don't think
we
it's
need
going to be
nah.
knees are going to be
It
good
sucks.
for you. Because
I think the rule sets in his favour, personally.
fuck
you reckon?
Yeah, you have to just go Robbie Lawler on him.
All it is striking, and then you get a point for takedown and pin. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, we are just talking about there needs
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
some
Stand
kind
back
of
up.
incentive
Yeah.
to control on the ground.
Yes. Yeah,
It would be in his favour if it continued on the ground. But then we'd just
Yes.
watch you like lying on your back for 3
Yeah, totally. Well, he could probably pin me up against the cage and not let me fall and just beat me up against the side.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
a bit of that.
Like just with one underhook.
Probably.
Bang,
I'll be like
bang.
trying to drop so we can stand back up, separate. But yeah.
Well, he would probably get you up against the cage or the wall and take you down.
Yeah.
Because then you get points for the takedown.
Sure.
So I'd say if
Yeah,
you
I
got
guess-
up against the wall, he will it'd be very difficult for you to stop him from taking you down. That would
Yep.
be my
Yeah.
my prediction.
So it's all in the hand of the judges. Do they favour the picking off the strikes to the head, the body, or do they like the
there's
takedowns more?
There's
you
one
know?
clear way to end this, and it's KO.
It's KO. I know. That's what I'm getting at, bro.
Which is going to be very difficult with 16-ounce gloves and headgear.
Are you guys doing 16-ounce gloves?
Yeah, they got to be.
He's
gotta be 16.
adamant that we
We can't have
shouldn't.
someone dying.
Well, that's
in
why
our
it's
gym.
very hard for him to wrestle with those things.
Well, that's
Can't
why
grab you.
he's appealing to me that we need MMA gloves.
Oh,
He said, because we can't lock the hands. I was like, yeah.
he'll still be able to take you down with gloves on.
Yeah,
That
easily.
I assure
Easily.
I assure you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
See what I mean? Joe's been like this the whole week. 2 weeks.
but he knows that's
Probably
what you
one
need,
arm and glove.
You know, I think he thinks that's what you need. Do you need that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he doesn't need that.
Well, yeah, those finer details we'll sort out this week, I think. Yeah, we got to sort all that out.
This week it's Friday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So yeah,
I've
going
been
through like
saying
a
that
list
all
of
for the
people.
last 3 weeks. Still
There's-
shaking his head.
It was hard to match people up because we've got a limited pool. Like it's kind of limited.
Yeah,
You know,
but they
to
look
find
very.
weights.
They're very well matched up. Given
We
a
have
lot of work.
Stefan and David.
Oh,
Both
yes.
from France.
Nice.
Both they're probably
Specimens.
the only people on the card that can actually box, which is nice.
That's
We'll
good.
be able to see
Yeah,
a fight.
some technique.
Yeah. Which sounds going to be great. And they're the same weight, which is good as well. And they're well matched.
Yeah.
That's going to be one I'm really looking forward
Both
to.
specimens too, aren't
Specimens.
they? Both
Yeah.
fit men.
One's a little
Stefan is,
younger, one's a bit older but more experienced.
Stefan, fucking hell.
Oh,
He's a
He's
gritty,
had a lot
he's a
of
gritty guy.
Yeah, he's had a lot of competitive experience,
Yeah.
professional handball and the likes, but
Yeah, that's a
plus
good
he's
one.
boxed before.
There's some kickboxing matches, but yeah, I was going to try and say that the girls. There's 3 girls. We're just looking at the board
the
now.
chicks, yeah, it's going to be
They're
great.
Lucy
They're
and
going to do a
Rebecca.
little 3-way competition.
I love that.
That's going to be no
Possibly 4 because
We're
Fee
talking
might be
about
jumping
that.
in that.
I think Guy might be a better. We
Yep.
think a Guy might be a better option because they'll be
Okay.
more technical.
Yes.
They'll be able to, yeah.
And you could get it. You could potentially get you have a high chance of a finish, whereas
Yeah.
a lower technique no Guy match would just be a bit scrambly.
Okay.
That'd be good to see a few like submissions.
You want to see that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You want
yeah.
to see some finalization.
And we got the heavyweights, and they'll be probably no gi submissions.
Is that Walshy and Tony?
Walsh and Tony.
Yep.
Nice.
They've fought before in our JB games.
Yeah.
Tony's got
Old foes.
Yeah. Timmy and Johnny, they'll be boxing.
They've fought.
They
Twice.
know each other well. And then we've got Nikki and we've got Clarice.
Amazing.
They're gonna be kickboxing.
Ballsy, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool jumping in. I mean, it's a scary prospect to jump in there, even, for something as small
Yeah.
time as our gym's fight night.
Yeah, nerves are going to be running
Yeah.
high. For even like
I'm
just
nervous
watching.
for all of you guys.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
me,
nervous for
not
you,
for
Joe.
you. You look at me.
I'm really
not fucking- don't be
Joe,
nervous
I'm
for me,
very
mate.
nervous for you.
I think you should be
I'm worried
excited
about
for
that
me.
knee I'm going to target.
Yeah, no, don't.
I don't want you in another
I gotta
RoboCop thing for another 6 months.
I'll fucking take the break, brother, for that one finishing suplex. I'll be like Zangief.
Oh, fuck! Imagine that.
My wrestling-
snap my neck.
My wrestling
say that.
defense training started yesterday.
Oh, that'd be
My
horrible.
wrestling defense training started yesterday. I opened my laptop and I hit Google. And I was like, wrestling defense moves. So, yeah, I'm in camp officially.
Nice, bro.
As soon as I started watching some wrestling videos, I was like, oh, my God. I was like, they're like, I can just see Pavel putting, like, on the last round, especially if it's a bit of a flop in the middle there, I'm getting a bit tired, like just suplexing me. He's
I
probably going to
reckon
do it at the end.
the strategy
I'll also have a head kick
you
for him
should
in the
put-
last round.
I
He's
re-
just going to like ragdoll legs
Yes.
ass over tit. Boing.
The strategy you should use is not to hit him too hard.
Until the
Don't
last
poke
5
the bear.
seconds.
Yeah, you don't want to get him angry.
Poke the bear. How am I stopping? This guy, he's like my head coach too. We're having a meeting after the podcast. If you're willing to give me more confidence, I'll switch head coaches.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
You don't want to go to Joe for striking
What the
coach.
fuck did Joe know?
Cry, you come out looking like a crab.
Both of you. Both of you. My guys. Yes, sir.
I like to stand square so that you get 100% power from both arms. So, Victor Belfort style.
Yeah, that's actually it works.
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, you're going to have to, it's all footwork for you, isn't it? And keeping that distance, which is like,
But
it sounds
Pavel's
easy.
got good
but
footwork.
It's, sure, but Paul, I think Paul will have better footwork and better distance control. But that's like,
More tools.
Keeping that distance the whole time.
No.
Who you got to be watching? You got to be watching Stipe Miocic videos. You got to be watching Robbie Lawler videos. Adesanya. These are the master distance controllers.
Yeah,
Yes, the issue I think is I have a height advantage or disadvantage. I'm very much taller than him, and the cage is tiny. Last
Small
night
spot.
I sparred the few rounds only, and I had people just chasing me down everywhere you go.
You know,
there's
it's
a
getting
corner.
shortened. It'll be
Oh, no,
shortened.
no, no.
Well, we have to because we need more people upstairs, and that's
yeah,
you
so
can't
the-
have a
that form.
you can't have a rectangle.
Oh, I see. You're going to
Yes,
make it like
no.
a square.
Yeah, it's got to
Yeah.
be square.
So
Yeah.
should just have a crowd of people, like a street fight, a line of them, and when you get to that side, you get kicked into
we
it.
should
they
all
push you
wear
back
suits.
in.
yeah.
We should all be wearing suits and like flashing dollar bills and stuff.
Nasuka. Nasuka.
Bring cars in and just use the headlights from the cars to like illuminate the fight.
Oh god!
Kick the shit out of him.
Definitely going to be a bit of that,
So
especially once the
basically,
beers start flowing.
there's walls everywhere. So
Very interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting. I'm excited, man.
I know.
Well, these are this is the maybe there's people listening that don't watch much fight stuff. This is the strategy behind it, right? You have a striker, they want to keep you on the end of their punches and kicks. You have like a wrestler or a grappler, they want to close the distance and control your body. And so when you've got, say, with you and Pavel, it's like this classic matchup that T keeps referring to, and it's a tough one.
Odds are pretty even.
Well,
in
I
this
guess
fight.
I guess it depends, right? There's also that aspect of when you're competing against your friends that you don't like. I don't know. You're not trying to
You don't
knock them
wanna break
out.
'em.
You're not trying
You
to
just wanna have some
snap
fun.
them. Yeah, but
And
that
until the-
potentially
until the
lends
main event.
itself to the grappler, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're not putting
That's what I'm-
100%
that's what I'm
sting
saying.
Yeah, you gotta-
on
you
the
I
gotta
don't
end
want
of
to
your
look like a
shots,
dick.
Yes.
He's
Then-
just going to keep coming in.
Yeah,
and I
he's
don't
gonna
have
walk
knees.
through 'em.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah.
and takedowns are exciting. So the crowd's going to be like, yeah,
Yes. Yes. And leg kicks only deter him if I'm putting damage on the front leg. Like,
that's right, attacking that. knee.
Yeah. Who knows?
I think you got to hurt him.
Heard him early.
I'll give you everything I got, and you'll
this
just smile at
Sunday.
me.
There's Subversion.
Oh, really?
Grappling.
You're
comp on.
competing.
No, Ads is competing.
Oh, I saw
nice.
that.
Yeah,
I had no idea until-
I'm his
okay.
coach. I'm going to be in
Great.
his corner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Is there like rounds or
No, it's just a jiu-jitsu. It's a
10-minute
submission
round?
only.
One 10-minute round?
One 10-minute round, no points.
It's a long time, isn't it?
It is pretty long, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So no. Okay, that I
Sub-open.
like the sound of that
yeah, it should be good.
because then you're not playing the points game. You
That's-
actually have to go for the kill.
Yeah,
Whew.
yeah, it'd be good.
How can we watch that? On
Yeah, they
line or something?
broadcast through Facebook. So
Oh,
you
that's
go-
what we need to do for ours.
Yeah, we could
And
totally
you
use
pay?
that. You pay. It's like $25
That's
or
how,
something.
yeah, that's, yeah. That's
Oh,
great.
Yeah, they've been
awesome.
doing quite well. They've run. This is maybe their second or third event throughout COVID.
I think I might watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to see Adam fight.
Yeah,
When I move in, but build my gym up north, I'm going to challenge your gym, this gym,
oh, that's cool.
my gym down here.
So yeah,
My
right on.
gym's going to challenge my gym.
To
we're going to
to
challenge you
some
guys.
kind
Something.
of fight night type of
Yeah,
event.
maybe. Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
We could do JB games,
Interstate,
Yeah,
not
interstate.
but like
but
into
no
dojo.
fight night. I feel like fight night would be the one.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Yeah, I
because then
think
you
that's
don't know your opponent. You know,
Yeah, right.
you don't get to meet them or see
You
them.
can
It's a
prep
bit more
outside of
serious.
them.
Yeah, it's a bit more
There's got to be
serious.
some sort of information.
Oh,
know, the
yeah,
tape and
the
back-
that'll be up
Who's
to us.
making the fight? Because someone needs to know.
Yeah, you got to the
attributes
fight
of both.
matching has to
Yeah.
be in my gym's favor.
Yeah.
I think I need to do some hype videos, don't I? Interviewing the fighters, like, what do you think your opponent's biggest weakness is? What do you think your big, try and
I
get
wanna
a bit
do
of
the
trash
artwork.
talk.
What do you want to say to them?
Yeah,
Yeah, all of that is great. Yeah,
could
what do they
use that-
call it? Embedded.
that's just like a behind the scenes kind
Yeah,
of.
that would be fun. One of those.
That'd be cool. I like it.
Oh, we've got a bit of work to do on this. I think it's.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the gym needs it. Well, we need it. We need we didn't get JB Games. People here like a bit of competition, you know, and having an event like this, I think, firstly, it's good to earn a bit of money for a charity, but just to get everyone's spirits up, because it's been a pretty shit year for a lot of people,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
to come in and switch off and watch some blood spill all over the mats and just go,
We're like a modern day gladiator event.
yeah, totally. I reckon we should be able to chuck bottles at the net if the fight's not, you know.
Well, we're talking about spectators, no spectators, some.
No, we'll have,
The
because
limit.
we're limited to 15 on the top floor. So
Right.
that'll be like officials, ref, commentators, and like a doctor. And
Yeah.
then there'll be a few VIP tickets that'll cost a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm thinking at least a 2-camera setup.
And the VIP tickets are upstairs? There's
Yeah, they'll get front
Okay.
row at the top.
That's
and then
cool.
down below, underneath the mezzanine, so you can face the actual net, and so you can see the fight up top. We'll have, and it's dark under the mezzanine. We'll put the projector up there, so people can watch the fight live
Cool.
on the projector,
No,
but
it's
also
happening.
see the action
Right
up
on.
against the net and that kind
Correct.
of stuff.
That's cool.
And if they lose sight of the fight as it goes to the back of the mezzanine, they can just look down and watch the big screen,
Wow.
and then we'll have it on Facebook.
I love it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So then we can put, how many on the bottom floor? 30.
Something like
30,
that.
30 on the bottom floor.
35, including the front square, I think, or
Incredible.
something like that. Yeah,
Beers
yeah,
will be at least $12,
Of course.
$15 for a Crown Lager.
naturally. Bring out the good stuff for fight night.
Yeah.
We've been talking about getting Ian Schaefer on the podcast. It'd be a good time to
Yeah.
get him on and, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe get him to do an exhibition match against Tiora.
Yeah.
How would that be?
Yeah, I'll fucking battle him at breakdance.
So he'll be doing popping.
I'll have a pillow fight with him. That's about it. Yeah, no, I've seen what that guy does to humans. He's a machine. And have you spoken to him?
Yeah, he's keen. He's just not available on Fridays.
Can you tell us a little bit about who he is
And how you know him.
how you know him?
Yeah, he's so Ian Schaefer is an Australian ex-professional kickboxer who fought in K1, which was a Japanese
Yeah.
promotion.
And Dream. He fought
He
MMA
fought in-
as well.
did he fight
yeah.
MMA?
Yeah.
Okay. And so he's a homegrown fighter. And I kind of knew him by association because he trained at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu way back. So I knew some guys that knew him, and I actually met him on a film on a video shoot once. I did a film clip for some fucking musician. It was a horrible night shoot in Potts Point.
They're always like that,
Oh,
aren't
it's
they?
fucking terrible.
Is there any other kind?
I know.
Is what you say there?
And Schaefer, and he was there, and he commented on my cauliflower ears, and then he was like, "Oh, you do fighting? What are you doing?" And then we had a chat, and I was like, "Oh, what about you?" And he's like, "Yeah, my name's Ian Schaefer." And I was like, "Oh, I've heard of you, man." And I didn't really know too much about his career.
What was
but
he doing there?
He was in the film clip. He was an
in it,
extra.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
there with some of his boys. And yeah, he was such a lovely guy, and we just kind of I don't know, just sort of were hanging out a little bit that night, and a bit of banter back and forth, and then that was really it. And then I think I did a bit of research on him and saw some of his fight highlights and stuff, and was like, "Fuck, he fought at the top level, right?"
Oh yeah. Best of the best.
Like yeah,
The best of the time.
and he had the famous head kick knockout of Takanori Gomi.
That's the one, yeah.
It was Gomi, right?
Yeah. Who was also like he was the rising star of the time.
Yeah, right.
He was jumping into the UFC like for display, like
Yeah,
he'd just
Gomi
jump in,
fought
fuck
Nate
people up, and
Diaz
then bail. Yeah, he was.
Actually, I think Gomi was the guy that Nate Diaz famously did the go-go platter on. He'd
okay.
done a go-go platter submission until then.
Wow.
But yeah, he was like real good, and Schaefer just fucking wiped him.
Yeah, it was an upset, big upset. But
Right.
wow, man, it was a vicious kick.
It was a spinning
Spinning
technique, wasn't
heel
it?
kick.
Yeah,
Wasn't it heel kick?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just hit him on the jaw, I
Ouch.
think.
It was
if I remember.
rough.
Yeah, it was like one of those ones that you look and you're like so impressed with the technique, but you're also worried that the person's like not dead.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh. It was vicious. But he'd have some great stories about the Japanese culture and how he, dealing with that affiliation and just all of that. There'd be some good stories in there.
There would.
Because that was like almost the Wild West of martial arts before it started to become really regimented, and weights and testing for steroids and all that stuff came later.
Yeah, I think those guys, they didn't get tested, did they?
No, never. Japanese would actually promote a lot of I don't know if, I think probably
Pride.
before Ian Schaefer's time, like the K1 events with like Sam Greco and those guys, they were almost pushed into, we want you on the gear, we want you.
Really?
Like, yeah. At the
Get big, get
best
strong.
you could possibly be
Holy
to
shit.
compete. Yeah. Whole different ball game. And stomping the head and all kinds of soccer balling the head. Well, it was brutal.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing that these guys fucking came out of that shit. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
not all of them did,
Yeah.
you know. But Schaefer had a chat with him the other day, and he's like, yeah, I'd love to come on your podcast. But I was like, talk about like your fight career and what it was like and injuries. And he was like, oh, mate, the injuries. It sounds like he's pretty wounded from those years.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So
But he also grew up in Redfern, I think. So his childhood would be really interesting. That would be awesome to get him on.
yeah.
Great.
And then obviously team up for the exhibition match.
Against maybe you and me can take him on together. I'll strike him.
I'll do the
you
wrestling,
jiu-jitsu
you do the
him,
striking, yeah.
and he just does both.
Put a blindfold on him.
That'd be cool. I'll still get head kicked.
You'll find his
It'll
foot.
probably
You'll
be
find it.
me that accidentally does it because he'll dodge it and it'll get you. And oh shit!
Well, Fight Night's coming up on the 12th of December. So there's really, 2 months for that. So for folks listening, we'll put our details out about it, about how you can spectate and get involved. And I mean, we want to get as many people watching it as possible. So share the word, tell your friends. If you like the episode and you want to share the fight thing with someone, share this episode with your friends, tell them about the show, get them listening, because the more subscribers and the more interest we have, the better that we can do this thing.
Come in and learn some martial arts.
Come and train, man. JungleBrothers.com.
Yeah.
Get at us. If you want us on Instagram,
In
it's
a
at Jungle Brothers Movement.
safe, what do you call it?
Environment.
Yeah, safe. I've forgotten, but anyway, you'll feel good here training martial arts.
Yeah, and we're very responsible about how we introduce people into the sort of more live aspects of the fight stuff. So
Nurturing was the
you
word.
don't get
Nurturing,
you don't get
non-intimidating.
thrown into the deep
Yeah.
end.
Yep.
It's a really lovely way. We were talking before about how you see people sort of step through that thing, like from people who've come through the doors just to get fit with no interest in the fight thing to now being on the fight night.
Yeah,
Right.
That's so true.
It's like
Look
really
back.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
and coaches as well.
Also-
like it's not coaches that never done any form of self defense and all of a sudden are kicking ass. It's great.
hopefully kicking
Love
ass.
it. Yes, Paul. We've got big expectations. You represent all of us out there. 3 of us.
That's right, bro. Well, I'm a little bit more Pavel because, the grappling thing and,
Oh my!
I see this as you get T, Pavel gets me.
It's just fuel. It's just fuel.
Yeah.
Hit that road work.
He's like every time they say this is going to be his biggest challenge yet, what about after I smash this guy? All right, gents, thanks for
Bring
today.
it.
Thank you.
See you guys next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you guys next week. Cheers. Bye.